Hi guys, in this week's video I'm going to be building a cajon. I believe that's how we pronounce it, but I am not 100% sure, so correct me in the comments. I bought this kit from this company called Sela on Amazon. That's supposed to be an easy way to build a cajon yourself. So let's see. I have little to no carpentry skills, so this is kind of new territory for me, but I thought I'd like to build some more things, and this seems kind of easy because at the end of the day a cajon is really just a box. It couldn't be that hard, right? So let's get straight to it. So the first step was just to unpack the pieces. So here I'm just getting the sides out and laying them out. I'm going to fast forward through pretty much all of this because it took absolutely ages and you don't need to see every single millisecond of me doing random junk. So here's me applying the glue to the edges of these sides, and the kit came with two little tubes of glue and a brush to spread them, which is handy. I didn't have to buy any extra stuff. I ended up using all of the glue just to be sure I was holding it firmly. I'm not sure if this was overkill or whatever. I just wanted to be careful because I've never glued something together that I've sat on before. Then gluing the top and bottom parts. Then trying to assemble it roughly just to see how it goes together. It was right at this point that I realised I'm an idiot and I forgot to glue one side of the top and bottom, so I stopped what I was doing and went and did that. So now we're fitting the sides together. It's all pre-cut and machined, so it goes together pretty easily and pretty seamlessly. I didn't have too much trouble doing this part. Just kind of lining it up to make sure the edges don't jut out or anything. Now we're just putting on the straps. So now that it's glued together, you need to kind of clamp it in place until the glue dries. So the kit comes with these like canvas strap type things. So you just wrap them around and tighten them and then leave it for a few hours to dry. At this point I was kind of worried that it was going to just go at weird angles and fall apart because it was only being held by glue. I thought the straps might force the glued parts to kind of skew, but it held together no problem. So now we're just taking out the back side, the back plate with the sound hole in it, and we're drilling out the screw holes just so the screws go in easier and don't do any damage to the wood as they're going in. So the kit comes with a drill bit included so that these holes are the perfect size as well. So it comes with nearly everything you need, except, you know, obviously you will actually need an electric drill to put the bit into. So now that that's done, we are looking at what else comes in the bag. A load of screws, and it also comes with this star head screwdriver attachment. So I put that into my drill just to make it into a power screwdriver. What's the word? Oh, into a screwdriver. So the screws you get have that little star indentation instead of a Phillips head or an Allen head or anything. So you will need a specialized tool to get them out again if you ever lose that drill bit. But I'm not sure how common that shape is. So now we're just inserting the screws into the back. So screwing the back into the sides and bottom that I built. Just important to try and line up the back as well as possible. You're going to be sanding everything so that it's kind of so that it blends in seamlessly, but you do need to get it pretty dead on. So now that all the screws are in the back, we kind of just take a look at the front and realize that I didn't put in the parts to mount the snare on, which is a kind of a stupid mistake again. So these are two little bits of wood with two screw holes in it that go towards the front of the cone inside. And the snare that comes with it slots into that, and it also leaves room for a second snare if you want to purchase one separately. So here I'm just trying to sort that out right now. It's a shame I didn't get a correct camera angle for this part. So I might just cut this. Oh no, I'll leave it in, whatever. I'm sure nobody really cares. So there you can see I got one in. So the other one is on the other side and looks the same. So now we're looking at the front facing part, which is actually the part of the instrument that you play, that you hit with your hands. And just like the back, we're drilling out the screw holes. With the supplied drill bit again. There's already indentations in the front and back to show you where to drill as well, so it's very simple, very hard to go wrong. There you can see a clearer picture of the two pieces of wood to attach the snare onto. And now we're just mounting the front place. So again, the same as the back place, you just put the screwdriver bit into your electric drill and screw them all in. Again, make sure and try to line it up as perfectly as you can, just so it looks right afterwards, and it'll make sanding easier later. So now I try to move to a separate camera just to give a better angle. But I mean, I really need to set up a better setup out in my shed/workshop. I set this little spot up ages ago to try and build pedals, but I really got caught up in doing other stuff. But I think I'm going to try and get back to doing more practical projects, like building things. So this is really the start of that. I think I'll probably try and do one a month. Building pedals and building instruments. So now the front is on and we're starting the sanding process. So the kit comes with a sheet of sanding paper and a sanding sponge for you to wrap it around. So you just sand all of the edges and try to round off the front panel at the top. Just make it more comfortable. Grab and touch and get rid of any sharpness or splinters that might catch you on the edges. And I mean, this is a very simple process. You just sand the edges. There's nothing to it. Anyone can do it. It doesn't require any skill as such. You just keep going until it looks right. And that's what I did anyway. Maybe I did it really badly. I should really try a bit harder next time, but I mean it would work for anything reasonably sized because the box is so big. My hands were way too close to the GoPro when I put it standing upright. But you get the idea, I'm just sanding the edges. And then the front plate as well. You can see where the end there towards the edge of the table is rounded off nicely. Just makes it look more professional and makes it feel better. So now we're going to rub it down with some Danish oil. I saw this recommended on some of the Amazon comments, somebody said they tried it and switched to a better angle, obviously, because you couldn't see anything there. So yeah, it's this Danish oil. It's for finishing wood. I've never used it before. I've never used it. Well, I did use stain once before, but long time ago. Yeah, supposedly it's meant to be good for this kind of project. I'm not sure if I used it right, or maybe I needed to use more, I don't know. Basically you wipe it on, loads of it on, then wipe off the excess, let it dry, and then wipe it on again. So I tested it on the bottom side first, and it seemed to go pretty okay. So I figured I'd put it on the rest. So here, after the bottom coat dried, I only put one coat on the bottom because it's the bottom. I didn't want to waste stuff on it. It's sealed enough. So here I'm putting on the bottom feet. The kit comes with 4 little rubber feet, and just to get them roughly in the right spot, I used the same spacer that they give you to position the wooden slots to put the snare behind. So just positioning them to the edge, roughly equidistant from each edge of the front and side / back and side, and just screw them in with the same screws that I use on the front and back plates. So now that that's done, we're going to rub oil all over the thing. So the playing surface first. So we just give the entire cajon one coat now and wipe it off after applying it, basically, just so it doesn't dry tacky was the idea. It still ended up drying a little bit oily, but I think after giving it an extra day that really dissipated. There was also a pretty strong smell of oil from it, but not necessarily a bad smell, but still it might annoy some people. So I realized after the fact that I probably should have been wearing some gloves while doing this, because the stink just stuck to my hands and I had to wash them so many times. And this probably isn't a good thing to be ingesting, so make sure and wash your hands after use, or just wear gloves like someone with some, meager form of intelligence would. So the top is done, now we're just doing the back with the sound hole. And the same exact method, just pour on a whole bunch and then wipe it off again. And then the side, same deal again. There's a lovely shot of my nice bald head. And there it is, done. Or, well, not done, but the first layer done. So we went ahead and tried to get rid of some of the rags. Supposedly there's a warning where they can spontaneously combust if you leave them out. So I just put them in a jar with a bunch of water. Then I think it was 6 hours I gave it, maybe 7. I don't remember exactly. I gave it a good few hours to dry, came back and put on a second coat. This might have been where I went slightly wrong with the finish. Maybe I should have left it dry overnight. But it seemed dry to the touch. It was still a little oily, but I just wanted to plow on with it really. So I reapplied to the entire thing except the bottom, and again just rubbed a bunch on and then rubbed it off with a dry paper towel after putting it on. And yeah, it seemed to come out pretty good. I mean, it looked great. It adds a really kind of silky sheen to the wood. Obviously, you don't need to go inside the cajon with the oil. That would be insane. But I did try to rub around the sound hole. And that's pretty much it done. So I just let it dry for absolutely ages. I left it overnight and then we brought it inside, and this is the actual snare that comes with the kit. So the snare system is kind of cool that it's removable, so you can have it as like a traditional Peruvian cajon or a modernized one with a snare in it. So there I was just putting in this little foam triangle that's used as a damper for the snare, so you can pull that out a bit so it's not touching the snares, and then you've got the full snare sound, or you can push it up and it dampens it a bit. So here I'm just slotting the snare unit into the two slots that I drilled, as you can see roughly if you really squint, maybe if you put the video in full screen. And there you have it, one cajon. Please ignore my Superman pajama pants. Okay, so excuse my pathetic attempt at playing a cajon, as I don't know how to play it. I don't even know how to play real drums. Well, it is a real drum, you know what I mean. Yeah, so I think it worked out pretty good, considering I have like zero experience doing this kind of thing. Sounds pretty good. Once I know how to actually play it, I'm sure it'll sound even better. The actual build process wasn't too hard. I mean, there wasn't anything too extreme in the carpentry side of things. It was just a bit of glue and some screws and some sanding. The finish, I'm not sure if I would recommend Danish oil. I'm not sure what else would be available or usable, but yeah, it ended up kind of greasy on me. Maybe I didn't rub enough of it off afterwards, possibly, and there's a bit of a smell hanging around because of it. Not a bad smell, but an oil smell. So hopefully that will dissipate and maybe it'll get a bit better. But it looks great, and the finish did work pretty well. Someone with more experience might have a better idea of how to finish these things though. Comparing it to other cajons that I've seen, it seems pretty great. It's full size, it's not a toy, it's a real instrument. So I would recommend it. So, thanks for watching. A really big thank you, because today I found out I now have 500 subscribers. So this video was kind of like my 500 subscriber special without even being one. Yeah, so halfway to the 1,000 that I need to actually become a YouTube partner and all that stuff. So thanks for subscribing, everybody, and please, if you haven't already, please do. So check back next week for more random content like this. I'll probably post a video of me trying to play this thing again at some point. I might learn how to play first though. Cheers.